Help support our coverage with a free account on Privacy, the service that keeps your bank information private when shopping online. Take control of your subscriptions and other recurring payments, plus pause and close privacy cards at any time. And get $5 right now to try the service at collision.live/privacy. Hello, Internet. I'm Scott, and this is PLUGHITZ Live Presents. It's June, and for us, that means it's time to spotlight some innovative startups from around the world, and we have one of those startups here with us today. Hello.
How's it going?
Fantastic. Yourself?
Amazing. Enjoying the conference.
That's good to hear. Go ahead and introduce yourself for me.
So everybody, my name is Fahad Qureshi. I am the CTO and co-founder of Infāque.com, which is a digital engagement platform for nonprofits.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I work with a number of nonprofits, and I know digital engagement and donations are the hardest thing in the space right now. So that's great to hear. Where does your platform fit into the ecosystem?
So we found that digital nonprofits were having a tough time engaging, especially the younger audience, because the younger audience is used to TikTok and Instagram and all of that, and so they need something that's more transparent. So both my partner and I were in the sort of financial services. I work for a bank in their IT departments, and we're like, let's do something that makes more sense, sort of from an emotional level for us. We want to give back, and figured out let's use our skills to build a digital platform specifically targeting nonprofits who can't build them themselves. They don't have the manpower to actually create these platforms themselves. So we'll build it for them, white label it potentially, and have them just use it and make it really easy. Okay. This way, they'll be able to target the younger audience without having to hire a team of tech people. And right now, those nonprofits only spend their time and energy going after the big donors. This way, they'll be able to diversify and go after the smaller donations in a cost-effective manner.
And, that's a big thing, right? Yes, it's nice to be able to go, get a $250,000 grant or a donation from, a big foundation or whatever, but it's hard to do that. It's, it would be a lot easier to be able to do events, digital events and things like that, and be able to engage a wider audience to be able to raise that money. So that's great. From the perspective of a nonprofit, let's say that I'm running social media for a nonprofit, or doing donations for a nonprofit. What does your platform look like for me?
Yeah, so what I would do as a nonprofit is I'd sign up on the platform, put in my causes or my buckets of types of work that we do, like general admin or food projects or shelter projects, whatever it is. Create those buckets, have it live on our platform, and so when anybody hits donate now, they basically can fund a specific cause within my charity or a specific project, and I, as a charity, would see all of that money coming in, and I'll be able to funnel that into the specific projects, so that as the donors, they'll be able to see on their phone where their money actually went and which projects it supported and what were those projects doing, and I'll be even able to communicate with the project manager for that project if I had any questions. And ultimately, with that transparency, what, as a fundraiser for this organization, I really want to see is that my donors become my ambassadors. So instead of just me relying on posting on social media, the people, I've empowered the donors, those younger donors, to really go out on their social media and brag about how much fun they had or how impressed they are with this cause that they're supporting. And this way, their friends will be able to come in too. And that's the viral effect that we're really hoping for, that we want to help nonprofits with achieving sort of that virality with some of their projects and campaigns.
Okay, that's really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and use a real life example from our ecosystem here. We work with a nonprofit that has youth robotics and entrepreneurship and craft classes and gaming, all with one nonprofit. So I could go in, if I were the person running that, and I could create the nonprofit and then say, we do entrepreneurship and youth robotics and all of these things. And then somebody can come to us and say, I want to donate towards the youth robotics aspect of your organization, and they can then
Absolutely.
me as a donor, I can see that the money went there and I can interact with that particular outreach of the organization.
Absolutely. So I've imagined myself as a donor who's giving $20 a month. I put it $20 a month into youth robotics because I am a STEM guy. I love that. And then
Mhm.
every time the charity actually funds an actual project using that money, I'll be able to see how much money I've donated in total, how much of it went to specific as a collective to robotics, might be all of it, and I'll be able to see exactly which project, like maybe in this town or this workshop, I'll be able to see all of that. And if you want, and then the nonprofit can also add pictures or videos. And so I'm looking at where my money went and what it did, and I can actually see and kind of feel proud of, like, oh my God, this is amazing. Now I know where my money is going. And that core concept that we're going after is transparency and being frictionless and empowering. And so with that, we our bet is, and we firmly believe that this will nonprofits, because I think it's sorely needed.
For sure. So obviously, I see you've got an alpha badge there on. So that means that you're pretty early in your process. Where exactly are we in the development of this project?
So Omar and I are self-funding this. We love the space, so we're funding the development and build ourselves. So we've created a prototype, and it's live, and it's been collecting about $1,000 a month and distributing it to different projects run by different charities right now. So we proved that the
Nice.
technology works. We met a whole bunch of nonprofits at the conference who we're going to be working with in the coming weeks to actually configure the version that we have to look and feel like those nonprofits. We're working on that right now. So we should be able to prove the concept with nonprofits. We're really hoping for exposure in this conference, and if we can find an investor who believes in our cause, that would be amazing. But in the short term, we're kind of good. You know, we're flying right now. We're getting this done, and we've already we've already funneled like over $3,000-4,000 to various charities since January.
Okay. That's cool. And you've basically been in a proof of concept stage. So to be able to do that kind of revenue is pretty fantastic. Speaking of revenue,
Absolutely, like users. Yeah, go ahead.
I was I'm more interested in what you were going to say.
So right now, so the way we intend on making money from the nonprofits is through basically a subscription model. So nonprofits generally that are making $3 to $5 million in donations yearly spend about $250,000 in fundraising. So we believe that they'll be very comfortable paying $10,000-15,000 a year for a platform service like this. We have a bunch of executive directors from nonprofits advising us. They're like, this is sorely needed. Here, take my money, make this for me. So we don't have a problem there. We will also ask the donors in this case to cover any processing fees for our like specific white label solution. So that will be our revenue model. The platform we have right now, which is sort of multiple charities can use it at the same time. We do ask donors if they would like to tip essentially or keep the platform running. We default it at 15%, but they can go down to 0 if they want. And we're on average seeing about 8 to 11% on top of the donation. And the whole thing about being a startup is we don't know until we try it out. And so we're expecting to iterate quite a bit over the next few months, just like we did in the past few months to see what works and resonates with the donors. We're going to figure out what works and resonates with the nonprofits.
Absolutely makes sense to me. That's kind of the life of a startup is making changes and figuring out what works. I can guarantee a lot of our listeners and viewers are going to be interested in learning more about what you're up to and following your journey. How can they do that?
So the easiest way is to come to our website at www.ique.com or infāque.com. You can just Google Infāque. We're the only name in town, gig in town with that name. We're also on Insta at app.infāque, so that's app.infaque. And when you go on our Insta, you'll be able to see all the amazing nonprofits we've already supported. And so, yeah, please do come check us out.
Very cool. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today. You've got a great thing going here, and I cannot wait to learn more.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. And have a good rest of the conference. All right. Well, we've got more great startups coming over the next week or so. So definitely stay tuned either to the YouTube channel or to our website at PLUGHITZlive.com to follow all of that coverage.